Hello, my name is Kenneth, and this is an update to a series of videos that I've been making on Seroquel. Uh, Seroquel is a relatively new medication. It's one of the atypical antipsychotics, and I have had mixed experiences with it. I first was put on Seroquel back in uh, December 2004, and I was put on 25 milligrams. And my experience back then was dramatic, to say the least. I didn't know what I was expecting with this medication. Uh, but within a few days, I was doing things that I have not done in the past 2 decades. I was reading, studying, practicing my clarinet. I was out looking for a job. Uh, my work habits changed. My activity, my daily activity changed to the point where I got up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I exercised. Then I showered, and then I went on either reading, studying, or painting, or playing my clarinet. And as you may expect, that time was a very good time for me. I was very happy that I was accomplishing things, and it was very good. My mood was good. Uh, it was the first time I felt happy in a good 2 decades, ever since I got schizophrenia. So this went on for about uh, two and a half years until in the meantime, I, I, I moved into a nursing home, and the doctor in the nursing home increased the medication. I was taking 25 milligrams. Then the doctors said I had to increase the medication to 100 milligrams. And then the doctor increased the medication to 600 milligrams. And when I got on the 600 milligrams, I was also on Zyprexa. And the Zyprexa sort of counteracted the effects of the Seroquel. Uh, where before I was like type B personality, full of energy, moving mountains, making stuff, doing stuff. I mean, back then I liked to write software, and I was writing software to do math on the computer, and I was doing studies and all different sorts of things. But when I got on that 600 milligrams, and even when I got on the 100 milligrams, my motivation started to die down. I started to find that I was harder and harder to do things during the day. I was finding that I had to be satisfied with accomplishing one thing during the day. And plus, on the higher dosages, I started getting side effects. I started getting panic attacks. I started feeling dizzy when I stood up. So I told the doctor, not knowing that it was the Seroquel that was giving me the motivation to do things, I told my psychiatrist to take me off that medication because it was affecting me in a bad way. And so he took me off of it. And consequently, all my motivation disappeared. And but I didn't know what was going on because I didn't know that it was the Seroquel that was giving me the motivation. And I have to mention too that although I had a lot of motivation, I was still hearing voices, hearing lots of voices. But that didn't matter because I had all the motivation in the world. So the doctor took me off the medication, and I stayed on Zyprexa. And Zyprexa had different people have different experiences. Zyprexa is not a good medicine for me. It doesn't alleviate any of my symptoms, and plus it makes me stay up all night and sleep all day. So I eventually got off the Zyprexa. I moved out of the nursing home, and a new psychiatrist decided to try me on a medication called Invega. And I said, okay, we'll try Invega. And with the Invega, I started out on 4 milligrams, as I recall. 4 or 6 milligrams. And with the Invega, I noticed that my head was quite a bit quieter. I was not hearing hardly any voices except for that the dialogue with the voices that just wouldn't go away. And that was great. And again, I didn't know it was the Invega that was doing it. I thought I was having a remission of some sort. And I told my psychiatrist, well, I'm going to enjoy this while it lasts. Because I'm having a remission of symptoms. And with remissions of symptoms go away for a while, then they come back. So I'm taking this Invega all during this time. And in about 1.5 years later, I started thinking, what was going on with that Seroquel? And I thought, maybe I should get back on that Seroquel, because I was doing real well on that Seroquel. So I told my psychiatrist that I wanted to try Seroquel again. And he put me on 25 milligrams. And again, I started getting a dramatic improvement. But although I was getting this improvement, where before I wasn't doing anything, I was after being put on the 25 milligrams, I was doing things. The Seroquel wasn't as effective as it was the first time. But it allowed me to do some stuff. It allowed me to make these YouTube videos. And it allowed me to get a job. For a while, I was working as a substitute teacher at a local community college. And I was doing very well. I was feeling happy again because I was accomplishing things. Basically, the reason why I get these bursts of joy is because I might write a computer program or something like that, and it comes out and it works, and that would make me very happy. So I I started writing these videos, starting Seroquel 1 week, starting Seroquel 3 months, starting Seroquel 6 months, this video would be starting Seroquel 1.5 years later. And what can I say about Seroquel? I got mixed emotions about Seroquel. It was an effective medicine initially for motivation, but as time went on, it started losing its effectiveness. It's like your brain has adjusted to the medication, and the symptom, the chemical imbalance, is struggling to get back to its original state. You know, the chemical imbalance that causes me not to have motivation is reverting back to its original state, even with the action of the Seroquel. So I had this job as a substitute teacher, and it turned out to be too much, so I quit that. And I go to a day treatment program, and I'm in a residential housing for that program. And one of the therapists there suggested that I work in the drop-in program. The drop-in program for the day treatment program. This is a program in the evening where people just come in, you know, from their own apartments, and sit and play pool, or play checkers, play chess, or just watch TV. And I'm supposed to, you know, encourage them to do things like that. I'm supposed to play checkers with them and play chess with them. Not too much pressure. And that's what I'm doing now. Now with Invega, remember I told you that I was on 6 milligrams and the voices just virtually went away. Finally a light bulb popped up above my head, and I said, hey, how would I do on 9 milligrams? So I asked my doctor if I can go up to 9 milligrams, and he said yes. And when I went up to 9 milligrams, I found out that I have more motivation, where I can do 2 things, you know, during the day. Now I can do 4 things, and naturally, you know, the next thing I'm going to do is go up to 12 milligrams, which I did, and things are going very well. But it's still not as a dramatic change as that first dose of Seroquel that I had back in December 2005. Now I wanted to talk about some certain things, like you know, schizophrenics have different experiences with their symptoms. I know schizophrenics that don't have the problems that I have. I know schizophrenics that have a great deal of motivation and can do things all day, and but they hear voices and they have hallucinations. And I'm wondering, why is that? What makes their brain different from my brain? And there's no real answer for that. All you can say is that schizophrenia is more of a subjective experience rather than an objective experience. By subjective, I mean that subjective, you mean, if you think about subjectivity, it's like looking at a painting made in the modern style. One person may look at it and see total crap, while another person may see, deep emotional significance. Well, that's what subjectivity means. It means that your experience is totally different from another person's experience. And this is compared to objective experience, where one person's experience is repeatable in another person's experience. And that's where I have issues with schizophrenia, because schizophrenia is more of a subjective experience. The only aspect of schizophrenia that makes it objective is these new meds. These new meds are very effective, and they work on one person almost as well as another person. Although some meds work better on one person than another person, you can say these new meds are much more effective at treating symptoms than the old meds like Haldol and Moban and Prolixin and Thorazine. On those meds, I basically just suffered, and that was a long bad time. That was years and years of suffering. But getting back to subjectivity and objectivity and how it ties in with motivation. What I try to do when I'm talking to my therapist is explain how I'm feeling. How is it that I can't do things? And I don't have the ability to explain it, because they have no way of understanding how I can not have the ability to do something. They usually say that if you really, really want to do something, you should do it. And I disagree. And my argument ends with, if you really want to know what schizophrenia is all about, try walking an hour in my shoes. And they can't say anything to that. But, I have deep issues with people who talk about motivation and free will as a God-given right, and a philosophical given right, because I totally disagree with that. It's when your mind has a disease like schizophrenia, you can lose your free will, and you can lose your motivation. You can be, there's different degrees of loss of free will too. There's at the lowest level, there's lack of motivation. You don't feel like doing anything. people call you lazy. And then at the next level is what psychiatrists I've heard called command hallucinations, where you listen to a voice and it tells you to do something and you go do it. And at the extreme level of lack of free will is like you're compelled to do things without any voice telling you you have to do this, you have to do that. You're just compelled without any thoughts going on in your head. And I've had all those experiences. And I've talked about a little bit of that in my schizophrenia with an abolition video. But these new medications have made a beachhead into tackling these issues of managing and combating lack of free will. And I'm very grateful for that. And, you know, these new medications like Invega, and I'm not saying that Invega is going to work for you or Seroquel is going to work for you, but it's worked for me. And I may not be like I was before I got schizophrenia, but I am doing things that I used to dream about doing. And that makes me very happy. But I am disappointed that they don't go all the way. They don't bring me back to the point where I can do, you know, I can be type B personality, you know, working all the time and accomplishing things. But getting back to the debate about you know, what therapists tell you should be able to do, and the debate on whether, you know, when somebody calls you lazy, that usually strikes me as upsetting when I hear somebody say that, because they don't know what you've gone through. They don't, like I said before, if somebody calls you lazy, just reply to them, well, walk a hour in my shoes and see how lazy I am. Or walk a day in my shoes and see how lazy I am. And then another thing that gets my goat is that therapists say that you have to learn to manage your symptoms without medication. And it's my opinion. It's my opinion that all we got is medication. Talk therapy is good for solving real life problems, but from all the therapists I have not, you know, resolved any of my symptoms ever. So what do you say about that? I do say one thing. Don't get fooled like me and start taking one of these newer medications and get better and not know it. Not know it's the medication that's doing it. Because that can screw you up. It can screw you up because you'll want to get off the medication, and you'll get off the medication and all your symptoms will come back. But the next time you get on the medication, it doesn't work as effective as it used to. So I'm doing this drop-in thing now, and it's going well. I've been doing it for about 2 weeks and making a little bit of money, and I'm going to see how it goes. And hopefully I won't come to the point where my problems with free will would cause me to quit it, and end up doing nothing again. Because I like the money. It's people on disability, don't make always need money, and the job is not too taxing. Okay. That's all I have to say for now. I'd like to wish everybody a happy Valentine's Day, and stay safe out there, and keep your spirits up, because there's a medicine out there for you that's going to work for you, and all that matters is connecting you with that right pill. Thank you.